Yeah, welcome to Unified Media Dropping Gems podcast. Let's get
Unified Media Podcast, Discipline, Motivation, and Contentment, Season 4, Episode 9. We begin this episode with touching base on this specific topic. Our discussion will revolve around overcoming trials and tribulations, obstacles that test our discipline and motivation, and why most normal people are consumed by the system, which leads to security and contentment. The lack of progress and not implying oneself that leads to disappointment. Like and share this video to those who will find this information useful. Tune into the show once a week, every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, where we have raw, uncut, open discussions that can range with insightful and educational information across the board. Other episodes will include past and current events, trending topics, conspiracies, personal journey, and so much more. We also invite special guests to shed light on who they are and what professional industry they are in. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, email droppinggemspodcasting@gmail.com with your name, business, industry, social media info, and brief bio. Hosted by yours truly, JR The Truth, ONTL Dewan, and now on the Third Sea Survival Skills. Support the show by subscribing to the channel, and please hit that notification bell. Fellas,
sir.
we are here. Episode 9. You thought we were episode 6, 7. What made you feel like we were so early in the season?
Man, it just seems like it just don't feel like all of the days is just. I mean, to me, they just been flying and flying. So I've just been feeling like I'm not on the same day schedule or whatever the case may be. But that's all. It just feels like it feels like I seen a meme some time ago where it said January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Like it just went so fast. Like what I'm saying, like it just went so fast. So that's all that why I felt like that. Why I felt like we we're still early in the season, but hey, we on episode 9. We getting through it. We've extended it instead of having just 10 episodes a season. Now we have 15. Special for season 4.
Definitely. So a special season 4, extending our episodes to 15 episodes, and then center stage. We've decided in the next season to extend our episodes to 20, which is crazy. So we've decided to expand on our view on our information and what we provide in terms of value, our constructive criticism, and we hope you enjoy it. Serve, you are now officially, somewhat, I would say somewhat in the third seat, because I know your schedule doesn't always permit it, but what is it about making time for this that makes you feel like it's necessary?
I feel like it's necessary because, for one, you have people that want to hear things like this. They want to have information that uplifts them, that motivates them. And especially like with today's episode, this episode, I really feel will be like reflecting on those that probably don't have like a blueprint, if you will, like a blueprint on how to do so. So like everyone has their own story. But sometimes you just need like some type of guideline. Like, how did you do it? How did you commit to it? Like, what trials and tribulations do you overcome to get over there? So for me, it's more so like with people. I am a people person. As much as you all see me, I don't like talking with people, but yeah, I do love people. If that makes sense.
I think we all
I be in
share
the
that
red
same
buzz all the
sentiment,
time, man.
Yeah, I think we all share that sentiment where it's like we are people person. We are of men of people, right?
Mhm.
I think what it is just that we do not want to waste our time with certain people. You know what I mean? It's the time that we want to make sure that is spent and utilized wisely.
Like for me personally, I don't know that we have done something when someone like starts writing in to like say for instance like, hey JR, hey Yuan, hey Skills, you helped me overcome this hurdle. That's when I know we're actually making a difference and we putting a dent in something because people are actually applying the knowledge that they're hearing. And I feel like that's something that you don't see a lot of people do often. You don't.
Right.
So that's when I know we made the decision. That's what
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, with
Definitely.
this past 2 weeks, the last two episodes, we talked about investing in ourselves, and then we got specific into certain industries like crypto, stock, forex, etc. One of the things I wanted to share with you guys really quick, just to get off of today's topic, was that I went ahead and I grabbed half of what I was going to initially invest, which was $1,000 into this whale basket, and I put about maybe 500 into it. And I plan on putting another 500 here shortly. But I ended up making $122 in 48 hours just from doing that move, just from making that move.
Putting the 500 into the
500
coin.
into the whale basket. Well, a whale basket is four companies that are
Okay.
currently on the stock market right now.
Okay.
Oh, this is for
And
stocks. Okay. I
this
thought
is
it
for
was
stock, yeah.
for-
So it's four companies that are in the stock market right now. But because they're so volatile, because they're being utilized at such a high rate, and it's technology and AI driven, the volatility and the investment is a lot more hardcore. So like instead of it being just like a casual 5 to 10% a year, we're talking about an upside of over 200%
Mhm.
in a year, which is
Okay.
huge.
Mhm.
So
That's big.
your $1,000 becomes about 3450,
Mhm.
and that's not bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now
no,
imagine that being 10,000 and it turning into 34,500.
mhm.
You see
Mhm.
where it starts to make a huge dent and a huge difference.
Mhm.
So just wanted to provide you guys that. I also went ahead and I went into my yields account in crypto. Now this is crypto working itself and gaining more crypto.
Mhm.
So right now I was able to I was probably able to earn in a mass of, I would say, 3 months. I was able to earn $120 off of a small investment of like, Crow, for instance. If it's just Crow, I'm yielding Crow. Um, and I was able to cash that out today. So I took the 120 and, sent it to my bank account, and it didn't put a dent. It didn't hurt me much because I still have about upwards of $900 still yielding.
Okay.
So it's still producing, and there it yields about a good, I would say, it ranges. You have 30%, 60, and 90
Mm.
that it can
Mhm.
yield within 3 months. That's 10% every month.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you throw $100 in there, and it goes up 90%. You're doubling your money essentially.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that just some things to think about.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good information to share in the follow up from the previous episode
yeah,
in regards
definitely.
to showing that hey it works.
Yeah,
Applying
exactly.
the
Applying
information
it
work
100%.
and it'll get it'll yield you results because that's what happened. Excuse me. That's what happens.
Correct, correct. And if we go back to just investing in yourself, and we take that notion and we apply it here today, with today's episode, we want to talk about overcoming trials and tribulations.
Mhm.
And the way I expressed it to Aki when I called him earlier was that you can have two forms of reaction to overcoming trials and tribulations. You can settle in it and not overcome it and let
Mhm.
it consume you, which means that in a sense you're content with living in that failure.
You're okay.
You're I mean, you might not be okay mentally or financially. You may not be
Mhm.
okay, but you find excuses on why
Not
it's
motivated to
okay to
move.
stay there. Yeah. Why it's okay to stay there.
Hmm.
You're not holding yourself accountable, and you're constantly complaining about why why you're not over the hump yet. And what I want people to do is I want you to look at your trials and current tribulations right now And I want you to have a shift in your perspective, because when you have a shift in your perspective, what ends up happening is that you give yourself a moment of clarity to focus on the blessings currently in your life. I want you to have two lists. And while everybody's here, do me this favor. Grab a pen, grab a notepad, and I want you to grab two lists. I want you to make a list of blessings, and I want you to make a list of things that you're trying to overcome and trial right now. And write those things down, whether it be 5 blessings, 5 trials, 10 blessings, 10 trials, right? And what I want you to do is every day I want you to wake up and what's the word? Affirm the blessings that are currently in your life. And then through clarity, through moments of just sitting down and resonating for a second, I want you to figure out, look at the things that you're trying to overcome, and sit down and create and write tangible solutions to each of those problems, and act on it and execute to overcome them. And if you don't have the answers right away, that's totally fine. That's for us to discuss. That's for us to discuss on the back end, right? So that way we can share That way we can share testament. I'll give you an example. A trial of mine right now is I have to lose 25 pounds in 3 months. That's a trial right now. That means I have to eat better, sleep better, drink better, and
better.
Go harder in the gym. Everything, right? Every single thing, right? So I got to write that down. I'm going to write down my trial is to lose 25 pounds. What are my solutions to getting to lose 25 pounds? Well, I got to eat better, drink better, sleep better. And when I go to the gym, I have to attack it better, whatever that looks like. You know, because sometimes I could find myself lifting up a certain amount of weight that I know is easier for me. And my range of motion will be a simpler effect on my body. But if I want true results, I got to do what my body doesn't want it to do, and push myself. Yeah, I got to stretch myself a bit. How you doing, Jamie, Jackie, everybody that's locked in? I appreciate it.
Welcome in. Thank you.
So, Aaron, it's good to see you. Shout out to the whole Soul Fam and Unified. If you guys can share this out, appreciate it. And if you guys enjoy the segment today, there's a little symbol down below in the chat. You can click on that, and any contribution towards the podcast helps elevate the experience. So those are tangible things that I can work on. Another trial is I want to go ahead and I want to purchase 2 acres of land. Okay. In order for me to purchase 2 acres of land, some of the trials that I'm going to have is, first is going to be funding. I'm going to need about a good 20 grand ready to go. So that way I can put 5,000 down and I can have 15,000 to invest in renovating, all inclusive. I'm talking about studio equipment, film equipment, all kinds of stuff. Maybe I have to put in, ways to get water, to put in a bathroom, whatever the case may be, just the essentials, right? So how do I make $20,000 in 2 years? Well, I know that a solution would be take 5 grand of my tax money within the next 2 years. If I generally get about 5 grand. If I get 5 grand for the next 2 years, that's 10 grand. That's already one solution. I'm halfway through to my goal. How do I find ways to make the other 10 grand? Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to take 20% of what I earn every month to start chipping away at that other 10 grand. These are trials, and then I'm creating solutions, and then I'm finding tangible ways to accomplish each solution to then get over my trial and tribulation. These are just examples that I'm giving you that I'm actually going through in my real life, and then I'll give you guys one more. Another trial is currently on TikTok. I'm trying to maintain my agency business, and in my agency business, I'm down. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm down like 90% in the hole, right? And if I'm down 90%, how do I find ways to compensate everyone who's under me, who's still performing and doing their responsibilities? Well, I had to go in and create a solution. I had to tap into other money that I earned in, and I had to pay and compensate them for their work still, right? Now, how do I find ways for the other ones who are not performing to perform? Well, I have to put them in position of opportunity. Now I'm giving them more opportunity based on the potential of each particular creator, right? So
Mhm.
now this is what I did. I put them in an uncomfortable situation. I'm doing peer-to-peer battles. And in a peer-to-peer battle, we don't support the peer. We don't support the creator. The creator has to work hard for the next 2 weeks to gain outside support. So this lets me know which creator is serious about staying and building their own business, right? Because each influencer and each creator, I've applied to them and told them, listen, I want you to look at your stream as a brand and business, yourself as a brand or business. Once we're able to do trial and error through the notion of peer-to-peer battles, now we can grab the top five who make it into the finals, top four that make it into the finals. Now I take that four and I put them against other cross agencies. This is where it works. Once they go against another cross agency, now they get their support plus our support, and it doubles up the progress. It doubles up their performance. And now on the back end, it looks good for my agency when it's sent to the upline, and that's how I get paid. So these are the things that I'm looking at as a trial and a tribulation that I must overcome, and then I have solutions in play. And then I'm glad that I have my conglomerate that I can speak to, where we share ideas, me and the three other coordinators, and we figure out ways to create solutions.
Mm, mm, mm.
And this is in all forms of, and that's in all forms of trying to be motivated
Mm-hmm.
to just save a business. This is not even, we're not going to even talk about discipline and contentment yet. I'll let you brothers give an example.
Yeah. So, man, bro, the trial that I have here is it's juggling the things that I do in as a whole. That is the trial I have. Being a full-time dad, full-time student, full-time employee, and running a business on the side. Like there is no, I don't have a breakdown time or anything like that. So my thing about that is always trying to find that time and schedule that time to sit down. So what a solution that I would always do is to give myself some time, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of just time alone to regather my thoughts, reshape my ears from things that I've been listening to. Because I'm in school, doing audio engineering and things of that nature. And I have to sit and listen to certain sounds and certain songs and things like that for some hours. Um, and within those 15, 20 minutes, still find time to check on the children, it do maybe use the restroom, go get something to eat really quick and things like that was one of those solutions. Is every day is never the same, but it's always in different ways and different forms of just putting it in there and finding it in there. Things think that is the one thing that I juggle. Another is, on the financial tip, finances, we're in a recession here in California. We're in
Mm.
a recession in the country, but we're in a recession here in the California is one of the highest tax places that they have in the states. California also is one of the fastest growing economical disasters, I feel, because of the way, prices are very, very, like, inflation is really, really hit over here very, very hard. And there is no, there is no cost of living increase or anything of like that for certain people. So, figuring out every week, how much to spend on groceries. We have to figure out how, what are we going to eat this week, and what versus what we're going to eat next week, how much is going to be, making sure that the vehicle is the car is taken care of. And in certain ways we do. So we have different resources that we have. My wife, she's really good at finding resources. She found a lot of resources where every other week or every 2 weeks out of a month they have food drives where they give out free food to families and things, like people with children. They have They have different places that give out different toiletries and stuff like that. Hygiene products. We go to some of these drives. We go to some of these places to go get those things because that supplements for us actually having to spend money on those things, and then which allows us to help try to help us invest into the high yield savings account that we have, and into building up our trust funds and things like that. So those are different things that we utilize in ways for that. We try to push through our tribulation or through our trials. What I'm saying, and make tribulations of them.
Yeah, powerful, powerful, powerful stuff. And you're gonna, right now, like you mentioned, LA, the whole world, but those particular cities and states, are hard to make a living unless you're making, both in a household are making significant amounts of money every year.
But
And
to live out here comfortably in California, you technically really have to, and this is both in the two incomes. You both have to be making at least 1.2 million a year to really survive, to have financial comfort, to have your house, everything stable, and to not worry about not being able to pay for anything. You need to be making that amount of money
that's
every
scary,
year.
scary numbers, scary numbers. But those are scary numbers for real.
You understand what I mean? Like it
Yeah,
used to
and
be,
that's just to team. That's just to live comfortably without even fucking
no
blinking an eye.
worry, no
Yeah,
panic,
no
no
worry, no
nothing.
panic
You
or
can go,
nothing.
you can go buy whatever you want, whenever you want, however many times you want it. That's what you need in order to survive out here. You need to be making damn near 300,000 to 500,000 a year to really just survive. So everybody who's making less than that, really out here is
Scraping
really
by,
we tread
scraping
in.
by.
It's bad.
That's scary, man. That's scary. But we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it, and we're gonna definitely be comfortable. Serve. If there's anything that you're going through currently, in your life right now that looks like a trial and tribulation for you to overcome, what would those things look like, and then what would be tangible solutions for them?
So the trial I'm overcoming, y'all boys, if y'all don't know, I'm in management now. So this is a new journey for me. I went from being survival to striving. I'm thriving right now.
Mm,
So I feel like everything I prayed for to come into fruition is finally here. Because once upon a time, I was down bad. I was that dude that was living off of like $2. Like most people don't know, when I was doing my thing with when it came to just trading, I was off of $2.50 fucking cents. This is how my story goes. My story went from being a guy that was working his hardest towards having family to losing everything within a 4-year span. In 2020, my mother passed away. This for the people that don't know in the chat. In 2020, my mother passed away. Then in 2022, the woman that I fell in love with, that I wanted to chase after, she ended up leaving me. That's right, left me for a girl. You already know how that fucked with my self-esteem, knowing that my woman that I loved so much left me for another fucking woman.
mm,
Crazy, right? I had
mm,
to bounce back from a lot of shit. Not to mention, when this woman left me, I was the brokest I had ever been. I had $2 and motherfucking 50 cents in my pocket.
mm.
I was distraught, broke down, cried. One thing that most men are not supposed to do, I cried because I said, I cannot believe I was so fucking stupid to do these things. I prayed to God because at some point in time, and this is going to happen in everyone's time, there's going to be a time in your life where you are going to have to make the decision, enough is enough. Are you ready to change your life? Are you ready to make that change? Because this can either pulverize you or it can polish you.
Mm,
Polish me. I kept telling my mother I'm not going to give up. That was that burning. That was that vessel. That was the vessel that kept me going, because I said I know my mother would never want me to stop. She wouldn't want me to stop. So I kept praying to God. I said, you know what? One day it's going to get better. So I have to keep fighting for it. Next thing I know, when it came to my job, got a promotion. Because why? I'm hungry. I was like, shit, here it is. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm already at rock bottom. So what's left? Bro, I kept fighting. Next thing I know, end up getting one promotion. End up working in the majors department. Majors department, I'm selling electronics. People see my work ethic. I got people that's rooting for me. I got people that's writing for me. People I don't even know. We had some celebrities that was walking inside the store. I didn't know. They loved the way how I was working. Went on ahead, talked to my boss. Next thing I know, I get another promotion. Now I'm working full time in membership. Now I'm selling credit cards. I'm selling other ideas, right? Now, right now, 4 year span of me just working, just my work ethic alone. Now I'm a supervisor in charge of 270 people. I can't believe that. I'm like, I'm here. Everything I prayed for is finally here. So the new thing I'm dealing with is overcoming the obstacle of taking care of 270 people. Because see, this is different. When you step into management, there's certain things that you can do and you can't do. Like certain relationships you hold with certain coworkers. You can't have those relationships anymore because now everyone's looking at you. They're looking at you. Are you showing favoritism? Are you doing things that you shouldn't be doing? I mean, like it's like they pay attention to all of this when it comes to being on social media. Bro, you can get fired for certain things you say on social media. How are you representing us? How are you saying things? It's like, bro, you're on this constantly. And it's like I'm in a net right now where the money that they pay you, oh, it's a nice chunk of change. So I have to watch certain things that I say and how I portray myself, but I'm still going to be me. That's the only thing. So that's the trial I'm having right now is just overcoming the solutions with 270 people, such as 270 emotions that I have to consider, 270 families that I have to worry about. You know, are they feeling like they're getting fair treatment? What happens when they have to have time off, when there's certain things? So that's what I'm overcoming right now is just learning how to be a supervisor, learning how this can go ahead and I want to say catapult me into management because also with some of these programs that I'm utilizing at my job, it's also going to help me get into public speaking. Now, you all know one of my greatest journey, like one of my greatest achievements is I want to work with people such as Lisa Nichols. I want to work with Lisa Nichols. I want to work with the great Les Brown. I want to become a public speaker because I want to be an inspirational speaker. And inspirational speakers, majority of what that is, it is to sell products. So if you're going to become an inspirational speaker, you have to have something behind it. Well, one of the things you all know that I have behind me is trading. Well, my mentor has a product. Why not become a public speaker to speak about what he's got? So it's not just me inspiring people to go ahead and further what they want to do in their careers, but it's also to help get funding as well. And I feel like the tangible thing for me to do right now, JR, when it comes to dealing with the families, because I know that's what we said with this episode today, it is to hear people out. Don't jump to a conclusion. Get both sides of the story. If I have an issue, let's say, for instance, if I'm working with a coworker and they have some, I want to say like a personal matter. If they have a personal matter, I have to let them know, like, look, you're talking to me as a supervisor now, not as a friend. So certain things that you may tell me, I have to let my higher ups know. So it's not like, okay, you just having this one-sided conversation. These are things I have to do now because I'm a part of the business. So if I'm a representation of the business, I have to go through the guidelines. So these are things like for the first time yesterday, I had to fire somebody. That shit ain't easy. It ain't. As much as I be pressing that red button on everybody during doing our other segments of our shows, that wasn't easy because it was like I had to fire a friend. Do you all know how that feels? You finally these people saw me on one side where I'm like, I'm not that guy. Now all of a sudden you see me in a new light, and it's like, yeah, I gotta let you go. I'm like, and this was a close friend. So it was like, yeah.
I had to make that tough decision today actually with my business coordinators. We lost the third top earner in the agency, and it was because they felt the need to express themselves in a way where they didn't need us or that they were performing without us. And when we brought it up in conversation, she really didn't have nothing legit to stand on in terms of her argument. Most of it didn't make any sense. It was very contradicting.
Okay.
So I decided to, you know, make the decision and take the step to say, hey, then, it's time to let you go. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And she's earning for us, which means that it's going to be yet another dip on the back end and another loss I would have to take. But I prefer to I prefer to weave out garbage and go through the losses,
Hmm.
than deal with people that portray themselves in a manner that they want to be portrayed for the sake of personal gain. You know what I mean? And there's too many people maneuvering that way. And in my line of business, I don't. If the leader doesn't even move on a personal level, why would I let anybody else around me move on a personal level?
That part right there.
You know what I'm saying?
I
No,
think
yeah, hey,
what most people don't realize is you have, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but a lot of people nowadays love to move like they're the shepherd. No one likes to be the sheep. No one likes being a sheep where it's like you have to tread carefully, you have to, walk amongst people and just learn. Becoming a sheep doesn't necessarily mean that you're a follower. It just means that you're following some type of guidelines, that you're listening, you're learning. Before you can become a shepherd, before you can become a leader, you have to follow somebody first. Learn the steps, what it is to succeed, and then hopefully along the way, when it is your time to shine, the people that brought you up are going to help you get there. See, like you said, what you working in a community, that's how it is. How are we feeding the community and how are we helping one another to rise to the occasion? See, every single one of you can be a sheep as well as inspiring others to go ahead and become a shepherd. But most people don't look like that because they get big headed. Oh, they see the limelight. They see how, like, oh, well, I'm a highest earner, so I'm bringing in all these people. But okay, so how did you do it? Someone helped you get there.
exactly.
Someone helped you get there before you can start going doing your own thing. It's like they get big headed. I swear, the biggest thing that breaks up a lot of groups is greed. It
Mm.
truly is. Greed is the biggest thing that breaks up a lot of groups. You all can go and look over the history of time. As soon as you think you bigger than the group, that's when all shit break loose.
Mm.
Yep, that is a known true fact. That is a
Yeah.
known true fact.
And I'll tell you what, taking what you just said in terms of like people moving wanting to be a shepherd but not willing to learn being a sheep,
Hmm.
because even myself, right, I had to be someone who was coachable, and i
Yeah.
had to i had to learn from other successful individuals, who did it before me and who do it at a high level. I took bits and pieces from them, being a sheep,
Hmm.
being coachable, and then applying myself to then being able to herd my own. Um,
Hmm.
and then one thing I want to mention to you, sir, is that you lost your family, you lost your spouse,
Hmm.
which motivated you and led you out of contentment, which led you to a next level of responsibility and position to now oversee 200 plus in your department, 200 plus personalities, 200 plus households. Um, it's very powerful, to say the least. Somebody who has lost as much as you've lost and is now gaining as much as you're gaining, and then you're wanting to get to another level
Hmm.
of not being content by grabbing your strengths and applying it in a world of leadership, applying it in a world of inspiration as a public speaker, and then utilizing those tools and those angles to monetize on it as well. And all the people that you mentioned, Les Brown and what was the young lady's name?
Lisa Nichols.
Lisa Nichols and others. Eventually, you're going to be in those rooms, shaking those hands. You know what I mean? So just keep applying yourself.
Absolutely.
Um, one of the things I want to get to in this conversation, and I'll throw it back to Aki, is these obstacles test our not only the motivation to not be content, but these obstacles also test our discipline, right? And what I'm realizing is that I I create these groups and these communities with normal people
Yeah.
who are consumed by a system which leads to security and contentment. And I'm trying to turn people who are led by security and contentment and turn them into leaders and turn them into positive monsters, beasts in their own right, to see the potential in themselves, to be disciplined in the course of actions that they take. And what I'm realizing through failure, and you have to fail in order to succeed. What I'm realizing through failure is that I'm finding myself now pouring consistently into YouTube brothers, my business coordinators, um, maybe a very selective hand few that I can count on one hand that I talk to in my personal life, beyond you guys, which you guys are also part of my personal life. Um, and I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
I'm okay with that. I think that's the only level of contentment that I have. That I'm okay with pouring into the handful that I pour into, the two that I'm talking to now, and the uh, three other business coordinators. Few of them are in the chat right now. Because what ends up happening is that if I can provide any sentiment to trigger something in each and every one of you guys, which then you guys bounce back and trigger something within myself to apply on my daily journey, that's a revolving door that I would never want to fuck up. That's an energy I would never want to diminish. And that's an energy that I want to keep applying and keep magnifying.
Mm-hmm.
While the community of normal, right? These normal individuals, right? And this is in no way of diminishing who they are as people. It's
Yeah.
just from this for the sake of conversation. Uh, what ends up happening is that through our progress and through our result, someone from that normal segment within that pack, within that community, within that tribe, within that circle is going to pick something up from each and every one of us. Hopefully, the hope is that they apply it and become leaders themselves
Mm-hmm.
to then create their own tribe, create their own circle, their own pack, their own community. Um, that's my mission.
All right.
That's my mission. And what I'm realizing is that that takes discipline. And each and every one of you guys, even if you don't see it now, each of you have a form of discipline that I grab daily and that I apply within my discipline to turn that shit into the fucking beast that I need it to be. So that way I can get better and better every single day, not only for myself and my families,
Mm-hmm.
but for you guys and your families as well.
It's
And I
always
want to, I want to thank you both, and for the ones in the chat, I want to thank you sincerely, um, for providing that to me. Thank you so much.
you yeah, yeah, hey,
You're
Aki,
welcome,
come on
brother.
now. That's what we here for, Aki. That's hey, look, I believe you know what the cool thing about it is that I'm pointing out is the fact that all three of us, the reason why we are always the three and the three at the top is because we've all always have been in a position of being the shepherd, the leader, right? But we have been sheep ourselves and being one of the top sheep, if we must say, you know what I mean? Because when it comes down to being a leader, like I remember from my when I worked in Santa Monica, that was I've always had the leader role position. I believe I explained this before too in a different episode, but when it comes down to you having to supervise different people, especially when they're not children, they're adults who you would think have some form of common sense, accountability, responsibility, and respect. You have to learn how to have grace in how you speak and deal with them, because in that position, yes, there is so many ways that you can be in trouble, especially when it comes to being a male supervisor or female supervisor. But being a male supervisor and having female workers or people working under you, and vice versa for the opposite sex, because the it, it a simple small little lie can actually make something so minute become so crazy, wild, and big, because of the simple fact that everybody has their own attitude. Everybody has their own motive and things like that. And what I've realized when I had to supervise about 200 something people as well, sir, in different times of the day,
Yeah.
made it even that's what made it even crazier, because we had to supervise different shifts. um you start to realize who graduated high school and who never left, right?
Woo! Yes. Yes.
And because then you have to start looking at it from that perspective. Like, I had a few people who were still high school students, and
Yep.
when I mean high school students, they were on the younger end.
Mm.
They were still, thinking in high school, playing, giggling, laughing, joking, doing all these different things. But when I became a supervisor there in Santa Monica, it was a few people who pointed out that, they pointed out that, hey man, you've been the only supervisor here that everybody has actually given respect to, like act like real respect to. You've been the only person that, like, when we come into work, we kind of like really ready to hear what you got to say. You explain stuff to us from management's perspective and from our perspective, and you make it meet and make it make sense, right?
Yep.
You don't sugarcoat nothing, and don't tell us anything wrong. However, you don't break companies' rules or regulations on how to approach a situation. Because when you're in the supervisor position, and this is just for me, and this might help you if you haven't even mastered it yet, sir, is when I got in that position, I already knew
Mhm.
that these people lack understanding. They
Mhm.
need understanding, because if they don't, then you run wild. And be it the fact that I had to be the one to, you know be in a position to fire somebody, I did my best to figure out how not to fire them and to get them to be, the worker that they needed to be, or they
Mhm.
could be, their potential, right? As a
Mm.
leader. And that takes a lot of discipline. With that, it takes a lot of discipline, knowing how to properly approach someone and to open the conversation up without making them feel attacked, one, and then two, how just to try to understand their thought process on the situation. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, there can be a coachable moment, because being able to be coachable is key and vital when it comes down to becoming successful. Because you cannot be a leader, you cannot be a shepherd, you cannot do anything without learning first how to do it, or how it's done. And when I became that supervisor, it was always in me, but it was one guy who trained me, and the way he trained me is what I learned and took and applied as me being in a supervisor position, which made people respect me in the manner that they did. I'm talking about, I'll come in, and one of the things in the morning time was to set up all of the radios, get all of the equipment out and things like that. And that would be like kind of my job to do, is to get all of it out, clean it off and stuff like that. Well, there's
Mhm.
been moments where I'll be coming in late, and everybody has gotten all of that stuff done for me, bro. They're sitting and waiting for me. And when I mean I'm sitting there, everybody's sitting down,
Yeah.
legs, hands, everything cross folded, and waiting for me to speak, bro.
Mm.
So when
Love it.
I say this for you, sir, is because I know you being in the management and a leader position only helps motivate and keeps you comfortable with being in public speaking and motivational speaking, because it allows you'll start to see when people are just sitting there staring and they're observing and taking in the information
Mhm.
that you're giving them, because they'll do that, and you'll know that they're retaining it based off of the way they respond and how you delivering. And a lot of times that's what I was able to do. And so again, that goes back to, it comes with a lot of discipline within yourself. I had to learn how to sit there and humble myself out and learn how to connect with
Mhm.
them, realizing that, hey, yeah, I'm in a supervisor position, but I'm no different from you guys, because I just stepped up into a different role of responsibility. But now it's
Absolutely.
my responsibility to make sure that you guys understand and management understands how we all work together. And that was my ultimate goal. And still to this day, man, people still miss me from being in that position, because I changed a lot of people's lives in that. That made them want to come to work. I made them want to do certain things right. I had
Mhm.
people arguing because there were some people who were acting like children, and some people was like, hey, yo, we not tolerating that, like we not doing. And it was serious moments there, you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
was I left my imprint so well there, like now, even if I go back to go visit there, man, I'm still getting the respect that I had from being there. So, you know, congratulations to you, sir, and being in that
Thank you,
position,
bro.
man. And that was really for you, because I understand your position. So I had to give you some gems on being in that position, because I was there. I was there, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, talking about it in real time. Nora went ahead and said something to the extent of, well,
Mhm.
let's start here with Nora. She says, I'm not a follower. I'm going to
Mhm,
be a leader one day. This is a high
Mhm.
rocks athlete, weightlifter,
mhm,
professional weightlifter.
All
Danae
right.
goes, you got this, bud. You're strong and you're making the world a better place. I've looked up to you since I met you. Thank you for being you and teaching others what matters most in life. And then Nora comes back and says, I'm coming in with an army, but people thought I couldn't do showed me I could do, and I'm doing it. And then another comment that Nora mentioned is,
Mhm.
I'm going through a trial of lies with the ones who I thought were my true friends. How do
Mm.
you guys, sir, starting with you, sir, how do you navigate lies from people who you thought were your true friends? How do you respond to that?
No, this is for you. This is for you. This is for you. This is for you. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Fuck 'em. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But true. Be told. Truth
Straight
That's
be
to it,
told,
right?
that's what I want
Straight
to
to
tell
it.
you.
that's the
Yeah,
that's the that's the bottom line. But here's the message, okay? That's
yeah.
the bottom line. But here's
So
the message.
the message when it comes to weaving through those lies is burn those bridges. And I'm be honest. There's some people that you will think is really behind you, but honestly, they don't care. Like what it is you have to burn bridges with people that can't follow you where you're going. Like that's it. This is a new life. This is a new level that you're reaching in life. And you have to let them go. Sometimes people can't follow you where you're going. And it's true. It just means that you've outgrown them. It doesn't mean that you don't mess with them anymore. It just means like you've outgrown what it is that they talk about. If they're not showing up to your events, like you're talking about positivity and talk about negative, I'm like, bro, don't hang around that no more. Burn the bridge, let it be. They have to change for you because you've outgrown them.
Mm,
Sometimes people think that we're moving different. Like when they say, "Oh man, you moving funny." It's not that you're moving different or you moving funny. It's the fact you've outgrown them. I'm like, you got a whole new mindset. Your mindset is on bigger and better things. So don't stick around that. Like I've done that with several people. Hell, even with JR and D1, they seen me. I had a friend that used to be in our group, and I burned a bridge with the man because I'm like, you're not coachable. Like you
mm,
feel like, okay, how can I put this? My man's was so big headed that he thought that I was a yes man. I'm
Mhm,
not a yes man. I
mhm.
got my own I got my own way of listening to things. I got my own ears and I hear certain things. And I would listen to his music and I'm like, okay, bro, you're like a one hook wonder. And I call my mans up and I call him on. I say, hey, bro, I think what you really need to do is you need to get yourself a mentor. I don't need that. I don't need to listen to that. Okay, cool. Wash my hands with it. He called me a hater. He said I was just trying to, and you know what? I just left it at that. I said, bro, I just can't follow you no more. And you know how you really kill them, Nora? Silence. You ain't got to say nothing. All you do, move out the way. Let them be them. Because at the end of the day, mama, it's about you. You take care of you. They ain't put in no hard work. You showed up. Blood, sweat, tears. You put the time into it. You don't owe anybody an explanation. Let them show up when they're ready to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful.
Hey,
Appreciate that.
man.
Appreciate that, sir. Appreciate that, Aki.
Mm-hmm.
Aki, if you are if lies are coming across your table from people who you considered true friends, how do you react to that, and what would be your advice to Nora?
I'm kind of on my I'm on Sir's same tip. Me, I've always been that type where in you around. Of course, I'm gonna try to figure out why or what happened. But eventually, it's going to come down to it where you have now just put yourself in a position where instead of being closer to me, you're further from me, and being further from me doesn't allow you the same access and to the same blessings that you would have been with me. So that's just where it's at. I don't no love lost, because I understand everybody has their own mind
Mm-hmm.
and do their own thing and everybody has their own purpose on why they have relationships with people or be with people. But at the end of the day, you make it where you're further from me than closer to me, and then that makes it a lot easier for me to be to manage how many more lies can be made about me,
Yeah.
or what I'm saying, come to me. So
I
that's
like
how
that. I like that. You're further away. It's easier for me to manage. I like that, Aki. I like that. I want to get to this part of the show where we're going to talk about the lack of progress, and when it's not applied by oneself, how it leads to disappointment. And I want to offer a tool that I utilize when I feel that progress is not happening in real time. And this is where I use this part right here, which I call my personal vision board, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put myself on the big screen real quick just so you guys can see. So when I'm lacking progress, I use this personal vision board. Oh, my bad, Aki.
Yep.
I use this personal vision board. Well, it's probably not going to let me do it because it has you in the big box. It's all good. I use this personal vision board to get me through the rough times when I'm not seeing the progress that I want. It gives me motivation to keep going. So up here in the left hand corner, I have the full world, flying, traveling around the world. Adventure is out there. I have two spaces here. Part of my wife's goal where she wants to have her own, for Elevated Concepts, hosting her own parties and hosting sip and paints and things like that. I have real estate over here. I have a financial freedom with love, entrepreneurship, the big mansion, the big pool, the children, love, etc. Success, the $1 million right here. And then I have my film studio right here with Jonathan Lee Rodriguez under a slate board for directing film. And then on the side, I got movies, faith, love, success, trust, all things are possible, etc. So one thing that I like to do is I like to have a vision board, and then I like to write my goals down. And I give myself 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, etc. And I check them out as I accomplish them. Now, if there's certain things where I feel like I feel stagnant and I'm not progressing, another thing that you can try to do is try something different. Step out your element, step out your box, and do something a little different. Everything is going to be trial and error when it comes to trying to progress and trying to seek results. And one of the biggest notions that I hold on to every single day, whether I see progress or not, is don't focus on numbers. Focus on value.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be huge for you. Focus on showing up and providing value. Because
Mm-hmm.
as long as I can trigger something in you to better your mindset and give you a shift in perspective, I've done my job for the day. And I think once you guys start bless you, once you start focusing on value
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to seeking viral moments, um, you'll be more beneficial to the ones that are tuned in. Um, but that's some of the things that I do, so that way, if there's a lack in progress, I'm not disappointed. Um, I can't say that I lack applying because I apply every single day. Learn and apply equals success. I love that. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you wake up with gratitude. Make sure that you plant your 2 feet on the ground. Make sure that you affirm positive things. Like I said earlier, write down your blessings, write down your trials, have a moment of clarity, and create tangible solutions that you can work towards every single day. And if you have to do a vision board, that's my project that I want to ask you all to do. Create a vision board, and by next week, next Sunday, let's see what your vision board looks like, and let's work on applying ourselves towards that particular vision board and the goals that we would like to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, yeah, yeah. And I gave that to the community today, because one of the things that I've realized in our space, especially on TikTok, is that a lot of people are this is why live streaming, people who live stream, and then agencies who manage, this is why I feel there's a negative stigma. I'm not going to say that they're not thriving, they're not succeeding. I can't say that. I can't. The data wouldn't let me say that. So
Mm-hmm.
what I would say is, what I see is, from a live streamer standpoint, I see a lack of value being provided.
Yeah.
From a agency standpoint, I see a lack of management being provided. Now I'm going to break down the two really quick before we get into our intermission. The lack of value is coming from the attitude of the creator, the influencer, the person, where they come on and don't know what to simply offer. They have no idea. They have no niche. They have no niche. They have no business. They get their live stream is, the way Fallon presented to me, dry, right? Um, so if you cycle through, people don't even stay long, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, no, this ain't it for me. And this is me just analyzing it 3 years ago when I first jumped in, because I'm the type that I have to analyze the space, break it down into pieces, and find out what's the pros and the cons, and then how do I be a solution to the cons.
Yeah.
That's my that's the formula, right? Just pros and cons. How can I be a solution? That's my business, being a solution to all the shit that don't work, right?
Yeah.
So the minute I got on, I knew that I was going to find ways to uniquely add value. This right here, value, right? So then let's go to the agency real quick. They don't know how to offer management. These agencies are telling Nora, Erin, Nene, and everybody in the chat, yo, sign them up for a battle. Good luck. And they'll have like fucking 20 battles in a week. 20 battles in a week, serve, with no form of spreading out, no form of promo, no form of true support. The fucking owner or the coordinators or the agents don't even pop up into the creator stream. So what are you managing?
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's like
You
you
managing.
collecting all the coin.
You're
You
just
collecting the
collecting,
coin, but
you're
it's
letting them
bullshit.
battle. You're letting them battle, right? Win or lose, and you're collecting the result of those multiple battles. So it's a series of send out 1,000 people to TikTok, schedule a fucking 500 battles within 30 days. we won't be there. We can't keep up with it. But 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 the agencies are winning. They're eating. But what
Yeah.
it's doing, it's delivering a negative outcome from the creator standpoint, and
Yep.
it's delivering a negative testimony from the creator standpoint, and then it
Mhm.
delivers a negative stigma in the entire space. So
Yep.
somebody who offers value on both spectrums goes in and has to deal with this is my interaction with people. I'll be battling somebody, I get to know them, the interaction's great. 2 weeks later, yo, are you managed by agency? No. Why? All the negative shit I hear about agencies, they don't do anything for their creators. They don't,
Yep.
they don't support, blah, blah, blah. All the negative connotations, right? All the negative stigmas. So then I go, well, I have testimonies that will outright smash everything you feel about an agency. Google me. If you
Mhm.
Google me right now, Serve, you'll see a bunch of testimonies on Google and the Unified Media Agency verified as a Google business with
Okay.
a bunch of testimonies from people who've had great experiences in the space, and I've provided tremendous amount of incentives to. That's me delivering on both spectrums,
Yeah.
looking at the pros and the cons, and coming in as a influencer, a creator, a streamer, and a business owner to say, this is what you got to do in order to truly succeed. You got to manage the creator and help them win, and then you got to provide value and help others win as well through that
Absolutely.
value. And that's what we're doing now.
And you most definitely doing that, JR. Like what we were talking about like in the previous segment, we were talking about like what does it mean to like really be a leader? Being a leader is being able to let other people shine, being
Mm,
able to let people see the light in themselves. And that's what our goal is. Like if you're a supervisor, a manager, your goal is to uplift people and inspire them to do what they love to do. Like what you said, if I don't know your niche, what are you streaming for? You
mm,
need to have something. You need to have some type of value. Sometimes people are all up in their heads, and that's why they don't come up with any type of creativity because they're overthinking. Like, well, what do I got to do to be on stream, bro? I used to get on stream and just talk. That was it. I just talk whatever came to my mind. If I was stressed out, if I had an idea about something, that's what I got on here for. I wasn't just
mm,
talking about trading. I was talking about like, hey, like, have you ever gone through something? I would talk about the keys to success. Now, keys to success was a segment where I would just bring up like, hey, what's something that you want to accomplish in your life? You know,
mm,
what's something you want to accomplish in your life, and how would you get to it? What would you do?
mm,
And like you said, with everyone else, all they really have to do is focus on what is your gift. A lot of us, when it comes to figuring out what it is that you want to do, you have to figure out what purpose is.
mm,
Purpose is major thing that God has given you. And I'll say that to anybody in the chat. Purpose is why God created you in the first place. You are something special. You have a special talent in you that no one can resonate. No one can touch this. Only you can. Maybe you're a great video game player. That's the gift that God gave you. Maybe you're great when it comes to lifting weights. And on top of that, you're able to be a teacher. Maybe you need to be a professor. It might not be in a school. You might have to be in an institution. You don't know. But God gave you these gifts, so therefore you can spread it with the world. And if you're not, you're robbing us of that. That's
mm.
what God gave to you. So that's your niche. When you all stream, you stream about what you feel that you're great at. That's the niche. And all you have to do is like write it down. See how people will start responding to it. Like, hey, Nora, I like the way how you did it. Hey, Jay, I like the way how you did this. That's something. You can go ahead and bring up questions if you got Facebook, Instagram. Throw questions in your stories. Find out what people like about you. Like, bro, I have never been a creator or a content creator, but I know my shit. I've watched too many people.
Right.
Write this down. This is something I'm gonna give you with some free sauce.
Get them.
Find a mentor. I've been saying this for years. Find a mentor. When it comes to finding a mentor, I mean, find someone that has the desired results that you like. Find someone that has desired results that you like. I'm talking about is it the lifestyle, how they living, is what they doing? Does that excite you, impress you? Once you find this person, what you're gonna do is you're going to listen to their story, listen to their testimony. If they had a job, how did they make this? How did they take this job to help them mold their dream? If you are the type of person that watch someone hustle, because there's some people out here that don't even have a job, so watch that person and see how did they mold this just from hustling. Everyone has a story, everyone has a blueprint. So what story resonates with you, so therefore you can jump on the bandwagon and start applying the stuff that you see. Next thing, make it make sense to you. If it comes to you having, like, if money is an issue, then one of the things I recommend is that you get yourself a job that's actually making some type of decent income to fund your dream. Another way to do it is just like how JR said, some people are not great with money management. You know what you need? You need a financial advisor. Financial advisors are expensive, but here's the thing. If you just pay for that person one time, take your notebook, pen and pad, be ready to write this stuff down, because they're getting paid to tell you how to manage your money. If you say you want to get a car within 2 years, they're going to show you how you can manage this to make this money. You want to go and get a house, they're going to show you how to make this money. You want to have a business, best thing to do, next time tax time come around, find out if you got a tax consolidator that's actually in that moment. Like, find out if they are actually financial advisors, because mine was, I didn't even know this. I went to my tax guy. He was like, yeah. He said, look, I can't go ahead and tell you what to do right now here, but take my business card. We can talk more about this at a later date over here. So that's because they know you have this tax money. A lot of us feel like when tax time comes around, you got cash, like you can flaunt it. But what happens when you have a certain amount of cash, you don't know what to do with it? You spend it, right? I mean, you pay bills, like, oh, I got money for a rainy day. That's exactly what you're gonna do. So if I have $1,000, let's say I got $1,200 that comes around tax time, that's money you ain't never touched before. But when rainy day comes, you're gonna spend it. Whenever you see something that's like exotic, luxurious, you want to buy it, you're gonna buy it. But if you don't know how to invest it, and that was never taught to you, you're not going to do anything with it. Get a financial
If you
advisor.
don't know how to invest it,
Yep.
and not only if it wasn't taught to you, but if you wasn't willing to do the research and then apply it yourself, you know what I mean? Because that again falls into the layer of contentment. People are content with where they're at and don't understand that where they're at presently is not who they truly are or can become. You know what I'm saying? People have to be willing to open up to the idea of wanting to be better, and through being better and doing better and taking necessary steps in those directions to reach the next level financially, spiritually, and physically. You have to be willing to apply yourself and invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
And people don't even do that, Aki.
I got some. It says, I started from the bottom, had to rise to the occasion because I heard you in concern when you complacent. Motivated moves help get me out the basement. Now it's penthouse suites with mountain view peaks. As the sun shine, I let the mood speak. That is a verse that I wrote, and that's exactly what it speaks to. You can't get nowhere if you're not motivated. See, I said started at the bottom, but had to rise to the occasion, because I heard you're not concerned when you're complacent. Anytime you be complacent with something, you have no concern for anything. Right? But motivated moves help get me out the basement. I was suites with mountain view peaks. As the sun shine, I let the mood speak.
Ooh, I let the mood. Aki, is that recent?
Yeah, that's a song that's called Love, bro. It's a song I got. I have not put the song out yet. That actually one of my good brothers, man in the nation named Brother Yakio. I let him hear that song, and he told me, he said, "Don't put that out yet." He said, "There's going to be a time where you're going to be able to put that out. Put that out yet. Don't put that out yet." But and what's crazy is because that's just the type of person I'm poetic, right? So that's poetry that I'm speaking when it says that you have to be willing to be able to get yourself to look to the higher grounds. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't in the basement there. You don't get a lot of sunlight. You don't get a lot of the sun peeking through the mountains. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? And rising and cracking you and waking you up. You know, when you're in the basement, you don't get none of that. It's dark. You're underground. It's cold. You know what I'm saying? To get to that mountain view peak, you gotta climb up, and you gotta have motivated moves. Every move that you have to make has to be motivated by something, which is the result of what you're trying to go, your result of success. And you have to be disciplined enough to stay motivated. You have to be disciplined enough to stay motivated, because see, motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you motivated.
Love that. And with that being said, this is Discipline Yourself. Check out this intermission piece. We'll be right back after this.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
Did you know that less than 1% of people are naturally extraordinarily gifted at something? Think genius, think savant. Do you know what that means for us, the other 99+% of people? If we're going to do anything great in this life, it is going to require discipline. That's the truth. If you are going to accomplish anything extraordinary with the days on this planet, it is going to require you pushing through the discomfort and embracing the grind and disciplining yourself.
If you want to live your best life, your absolutely best life, you got to do me a huge favor. You got to watch them choices you make. People make bad choices. They wake up and make another bad choice. They make another bad choice. Now they got a habit of bad choices. And they like, how did I get here? Choices. How did I get here? You trying to get to certain places, but you ain't making the choices that's going to get you there. You all in your feelings.
The cause of laziness is a craving for comfort. It's wanting comfort. Ultimately, your problem is not laziness. It's the worship of comfort, which produces laziness. It's that I don't want to do anything that I don't want to do. It's believing this lie that if it doesn't come completely natural to me, if it's not easy, then I shouldn't have to do it, or maybe I'm doing the wrong thing.
You can lie to yourself and then you don't need discipline. You can tell yourself everything's okay and then you don't need discipline. You can lie to yourself and say that you're winning and then you don't need discipline. But if you tell yourself the truth, if you tell yourself the truth that you know you could be better, you know you could do more, if you tell yourself the truth, you won't have to find discipline. Discipline will find you.
The greatest version of you is not the I can do anything version of you. The greatest version of you is the disciplined version of you. The greatest version of you is the version that has parameters. No, I don't do that. I don't drink that. I don't go there with these people. I'm focused. I have a prize that's in front of me. I know what I'm supposed to do, and that ain't it. I have to stay right here.
You can become godly through discipline, not easy, not just because you feel like it, that sometimes you have to honor the grind.
There's got to be some type of discipline attached to whatever you want deliverance in. And what I'm telling you is the battle never changes. Every day, you have to get self-control.
You've got to begin to think about the things you want to materialize in your life on a regular basis and think about it repetitiously. Literally, the things that we obsess about become the things that we possess in our lives. Your mind is a weapon, and you got to begin to use it and pick that weapon up and control it. Most people are out of control with their mind. They don't point it at something. They let the world point it, and they misfire all the time. So today, I want you to pick up that weapon that is your mind and begin to point it at the things you want.
Becoming successful is a situation of developing discipline, persistence, patience, grit, character traits that you don't just get. You are not fucking born with. It's going to come down to you developing the ability to do the things that you don't feel like doing because you know that it's the right thing to fucking do.
So often, we want to blame circumstances for the way things are. We want to blame genetics for the reason we're kind of fat. We got all these problems. But might I suggest, the problem is the pattern of your response. But you can't change the product if you don't change the pattern. You can't change the way your career's going if you don't start changing your work ethic and your work habits and your inner relations. You can't change your wisdom unless you change your input. Just the problem is the pattern.
Whatever's going on is your fault. It is your fault. Accept that, own it, and then deal with it.
So why use Grammarly over ChatGPT? Well, Grammarly offers expert writing suggestions versus something generic that everyone gets while you type in real time. No need to copy-paste. You can use it across 100,000 apps and websites. It's not just a spelling or grammar checker. Grammarly is an AI writing tool that helps you in any situation.
Battleship sunk.
Enemy battleship detected.
Enemy submarine spotted.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Enemy heavily damaged.
Enemy battleship detected.
Enemy battleship foundered.
I need intelligence data.
Engine boost activated.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire. Support the allied target. Enemy battleship sunk.
All stations,
Reporting the position of a strategic target. Requesting support. I owe you one.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Engine boost deactivated.
Every decision that you make has consequences. Are you making yourself better? Or are you making yourself worse? Are you moving forward or are you moving back? Are you making progress or are you stagnating? Every little decision you make counts.
And most people will not be successful. They will not reach whatever they wrote because when there's not anything emotionally attached to it, they're going to quit and give up. Most people were closer than they ever thought they were to finishing that big thing, but they never finished it because they didn't feel like finishing it, or they were doing it and it was pain. And most people quit in the pain because the pain hurts so bad that they don't know if they want to keep going to get to go. Because you're going to wake up most days and not feel like it. You're going to wake up most days and not be pumped up. You're going to wake up most days and not feel like doing it. But when you can get to a point that you do it anyway, then there's no way you won't reach any of your goals.
You are not where you want to be, not because you need any more gifts. You don't need nothing else. You need to discipline yourself. You need to learn to tell you no. You keep talking about everybody else, you can't tell no. You can't tell you no. You can't tell you stop. You can't tell you quit. You got to get to a point where you're disciplined.
It's a muscle. The mind is a muscle. Emotion is a muscle. I don't negotiate with myself. Well, maybe we'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to do this. Or, oh, let me like 2 more minutes till I'm ready. There's none of that shit with me. For decades, I go, I say, we do. I'm not here to discuss this shit with my mind. There's mind, and then there's soul and spirit. And soul and spirit, my soul fucking knows. And when I say jump, you fucking jump. I'm not here to have a discussion with you. But you have to take control and train this brain. If you don't train this brain, it'll use you instead of you using it.
Everyone wants some life hack that eliminates the need to do the work, but that does not exist. You have to do the work. You've got to hold the line. You've got to make it happen.
What could you be if you worked as hard as you could? What could you be if you imposed real discipline in your life? I say you crank up the volume on that question. Max it out. And then go do some.
People who win fucking do shit, and people who lose talk shit. You can win if you choose to learn the things that you need to do and then fucking do them. That's reality. That's the shit nobody wants to admit, because admitting so means that you have to take responsibility for where you are currently.
With Google Workspace, you can create a Gmail account with your own domain and branding.
And you have to say, I am where I am currently because I didn't do X, Y, and Z. And guess what? That fucking hurts a little bit. But once you accept that truth, you are able to then move forward with the actions required to get you to where you want to go.
You have no business being average, but now you justify it. You come up with these great reasons why you can't get up at 5. You have these great reasons why you have to do everything, why you don't execute, why you don't finish, why you don't follow through, why you say you'll exercise and you do it for about 10 days and you quit. You've got an excuse for why you're average. I guarantee you, if you were humble enough, if you were hungry enough, if you really wanted what you said, you'd sit down and you'd study what you do and you'd say, I can do this better. But I have not exhausted all my time. I have not exhausted all my resources. There's something missing. You're not where you're supposed to be. It's not going to take a lot. but it's a small gap, and the gap is called execution. If you were to execute just a little bit more, you'll be on a whole other level.
You have to master the monotonous. It's the boring it's the everyday it's the regular It means doing the that most people are too fucking undisciplined to do day in and day out with perfection. Doing it better than everybody else. Doing it to the best of your ability. You have to remind yourself that these little things that you do are going to lead to the big things. Are you going to do your workout or are you not? Are you going to do your cardio or are you not?
You think things are gonna just go your way? Well, they're not gonna just go your way. You gotta make them go your way. You think things are gonna just happen for you? Well, they're not just gonna happen for you. You gotta make them happen. Discipline your body. Free your mind. Get up early and go. Get after it, and you'll become the person you want to be. And you become that person through one small decision at a time.
Powerful. Forgive me, guys. During the ads, I was locked in and on TikTok. I scheduled our first cross agency battle since not doing it for the last probably 30 days. We had a wonderful creator named Toxic Vessel. Somebody who supports many of us at a very high level. We had over 31 people in his room. We dropped over 120,000 on his head, and he's number 90 in his league right now, and he's seen gifts that he's never even witnessed before. So, and I want this to be a testimony in real time to everyone, to share to everyone that's here now, here in the chat, on TikTok, that this is what happens when you structurally put something together, have a formula, have a proper system in play, and give people an opportunity to build their network, right? And then all come together as a unified group to show people that do deserve it and that do work hard and that do support a level of reciprocation and something that they can celebrate and feel like a win in real time. And that's what happened right now. So he's in the chat right now, having his celebratory moment with the rest of the community. And it's one of those small wins that leads to the big things, the way that video said. So I appreciate you guys for being there during that moment for him. But that video alone, just some of the things that they've mentioned, we've expressed here in today's episode, right? You have to be determined.
Yep.
And push your mind, body, and spirit to levels that you necessarily don't even know that you're capable of. But if I vision myself at my highest point, at my highest level, and one of my personal mottos is vision yourself at your greatest point while in the present time getting there, taking the action to get there. I close my eyes every day and I foresee myself 215 pounds and I look better than Jason Momoa. I want to look better than Jason Momoa. I want to look better than Jason Momoa. I close my eyes. I foresee myself at the red carpet event, at the premiere for my next movie, and I act better than Vin Diesel.
Right.
These are things that I do. And
excuse me.
The reason why I'm mentioning those names is because, one, I want to look better than Jason Momoa on set. And two, I think I act better than Vin Diesel. If Vin Diesel can do it, I can do it.
Man.
Right? And I would love to be an action star like Jason Statham. Right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't expect to do the karate shit that he does, but shit, let's be an action star like The Rock. So let's look better than Jason Momoa, act better than Vin Diesel, and be an action star like The Rock. I think I'm gonna be pretty. I think I'm gonna be okay.
There you
I
go.
like it. I
There
like
you,
it.
there you go.
You
That's
know,
hockey.
yeah, and that's grabbing something, putting it in my mind, and when I'm in the gym, those are the things I think about that motivate me to lift up the weight and discipline me to go to the gym every other day. You know, because now I've mapped it out. I go 3-4 days a week. I do 1 day cardio, 1 day shoulders and chest, 1 day back, 1 day legs. Now I'm not an ab guy. I can't stand abs whatsoever. You're not going to catch me in the gym doing nothing with abs. That's what I do cardio for, and I do ranges of motion that can trigger the ab section. But like me doing fucking actual ab workouts, no, you ain't gonna get. I can't stand that shit. It's
Heard
my
like him.
it's my weak. It's my fucking weak point, and I understand it. And
Might
but
just need to do ab workout on a chair, Aki. That might help you.
that might help me absolutely. Now, should I consider it once I drop a certain amount of weight? Absolutely. The minute I drop 10 pounds, 5, 10 pounds, and I feel a little less weight in my midsection, I'm gonna go crazy and start stepping out my element a bit and incorporating some ab workouts that I know my body can do.
I think for you, Aki, this is just from me and studying because I'm doing this myself.
Yeah.
Is can like keep a regimen of when it comes down to it, like always have something that's going to always kill your body fast. So like in the morning time when it's elimination time,
Yeah.
always input something that's going to help you eliminate, and then wait until later on in the afternoon to actually eat when your body is actually in the process of needing fuel and energy. That right there helps get rid of the midsections, like an intermediate type of fasting helps get rid of the midsection.
Yeah.
And so that will help you drop the weight faster and help you get to that. And then when you do that and then start implementing your workouts for your midsection, then you'll see your results in the fat lose faster.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. Okay, I'm definitely going to incorporate intermediate fasting. One thing I wanna get to, and we'll probably end this segment in probably like 10, 15 minutes because I gotta head out early today. But I want to ask you guys, what is one thing from that intermission video that you can take and give to the audience today?
Mhm. Me personally,
Yeah.
when you talk about like discipline your when you said discipline your body, major
Mm,
thing that I got from the video is you also have to have faith. You have
mm,
to have
mm,
faith
mm,
in everything that you do. I'm always say that because investing in yourself is not just about discipline, it's also having faith that this is going to work. Let's say,
mm,
for instance, if you have like you may go ahead and fall on your face. It's okay. It's all right. Hell, you're gonna fail your way to success. People don't understand it. You are going to fail your way to success. If you
mm.
do not have a blueprint, you are going to fail your way to success. Okay,
Put
this
that
didn't
on the
work. You know
shirt,
what?
sir.
I'm gonna get back up.
It-
I'm gonna try it again.
that's the blueprint. Failure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
That on the
Because
shirt, sir.
somehow, because like some point in time they did this and they failed at it, but they didn't stop. They kept
Mm,
going. And I was like, that's something all of us don't understand. We are conditioned. We are in a conditioning process of life where you're supposed to win.
mm,
No, you're not. Sometimes when the best, like for me being a professional game player, I used to be a professional video game player. When it came to playing in the FGC, one of the best fights in my life was when I would lose. I'm like, oh no, I got to get back in the lab. I'm
mm,
like, this
mm,
matchup I
mm.
don't understand. When you're playing like Killer Instinct or playing Street Fighter, I'm like, you know what? I
I,
gotta go ahead and play him again because
mm,
when I get into a tournament, I'm like, it's either he gonna win or I'm gonna win. But here it is: the games that we don't play, the games we play off camera, are the ones that make it. Like the discipline you have to have. Like sometimes we have these set matches. These set matches can last for like first to 10. And you just talking about winning 1 or 2 games? No, bro, we doing a whole set to 10 games. And that be like the major tournaments. Like you all have to be playing. And I feel like that's just how life is. I relate it to video games because that's how life is. Life is going to throw you a whole lot of crooked nooks and curves, but you have to be able to go ahead and iron that shit out because life is hard. If this shit was easy, we would have already been there. If life was easy, I look at it from this
Life
standpoint.
wouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah. I look at this standpoint from like my mom. I said this a long time ago. I said, if my mom did everything she was supposed to do, I wouldn't be working right now. If our parents did everything they're supposed to do, we would not be working right now. But we are. And it also put in another, like you said, shift perspective. I was taught that if you get a great education, that you would become rich. My mom had a great education, but she was never rich. So why am I still working? So obviously I know it's not just me having a 9 to 5. It has to be something else I have to invest myself into. Life is not just what they like. That's why I said some of the stuff they taught us from us living were lies. And that's why we have to be willing to go ahead and seek those things out. So having podcasts like this to open up your mind, shift perspective, and give you like some type of like thinking outside the box is what's needed. So the last thing, like I said, I feel that everyone should have faith. So if there's something that you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, especially the people inside the chat, not just my brothers I'm always talking to, but have faith in yourself and go at it.
I love that. I love how faith can, if it's strong enough, faith creates discipline.
Yes,
it does. It does. Because now here's the thing too. When it comes to faith, I find it funny that when people have faith and it's time to show up, they don't show it. That's the hard part. I don't understand that. When it's time for faith to show up, this really proves that. When it's time for faith to show up, people prove their faith by doing what? That's the only thing I don't understand. When it's time for you to show your faith, you have to show up. Don't back down from that. You have to show up.
They're content.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't faith at all. It was just a false perception of what they thought. Like, it wasn't aligned with the heart. See, when it comes to having faith, faith has a substance. Substance to faith.
Tell them, Maki.
And you have to be able to, and it has to be able to align with your
heart.
It has to be able to align with a righteous will, because without that, it's the same. It's the same. It's the same. I'm saying it in a different way. It's you don't succeed without failing. You don't have enough failures under your belt to succeed. Meaning, if you didn't have enough faith in what you were doing and failed at what you were doing and was told where you can do better and then didn't apply what you needed to do being better, then you was not going to succeed at all. There's a substance to faith. Matter of fact, Yahweh Ben Yahweh wrote a book that you can go find on YahwehBenYahweh.com that says there's a book called Substance of Faith. There's a substance to it. There's something you have to do in order for faith to eat, for faith's power, in order for it to be utilized, is you have to be able to it has to align with a righteous path. It has to. If it doesn't, there was never no faith there. There was just a false promise.
I'm gonna need that link, and I'm gonna get that book ASAP.
Yeah.
You were speaking to my spirit, Aki.
That's because that's what the substance of faith is.
Man.
And that's which you just said, which aligns with what I'm going to with what comes from the video, which is you got you remember how I think that was David Goggins, I think, that said that, or maybe it was ET, but it has to align. You have to be able to have saying fuck that, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't I trust me, I struggle with that. I struggle with having to say, nah, forget that, I'm gonna do that, or putting it off later and stuff like that. And the reason why is because you know, I have a lot of different things that I have to work through in changing with when it comes to life, and being a father, and having your life change from what you're used to it changing to you have to maneuver and work with other people around you. It definitely is different. So it takes a lot more power and courage in order to do so. But in that, I don't try to do nothing if my soul is not feeling it.
I like that, Aki, man.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter that if I still do it, if my soul, I'm not gonna have fun doing it, and eventually I'll get burnt out and I'll lose my motivation or my faith for it. So it always has to be aligned with my heart and my soul. Like my soul has to my soul has to say, yes, this is what is needed. This is what it is. This is what it's gonna do. This is where it's gonna be at. Because if not, I don't care how much motivational speeches you can talk to me for 2-3 hours, motivating me and telling me what I need to do and what I can't do. If it's not in my heart to do it because I don't feel it, don't understand the value of it, I'm never going to do that. So my faith is never going to be faith. It's just going to be a false promise.
Powerful segment today, brothers. This was an amazing episode. Nora, before we go, Nora, can you give us one piece of the segment today that resonated with you that you will be applying in your personal journey after today's stream? One thing that I'm going to be working on is procrastination. That's one thing I'm going to be working on.
Man, and look, I think we all, excuse me, we all have our days with that one, because again, like I said here, I'm not making it as an excuse, but when my mind is mentally fatigued because it's in a constant state of stress and worry of assuring me and my family are going to be able to make it the next day. Right. I have faith in knowing we are. It's in my heart and I know we are. However, still every day is struggles because my mind is mentally drained and fatigued because I cannot stop thinking on what it is, what move I need to make, on how I need to make. I'm constantly playing a game of chess without a breather. Without having real time to study the board. You get what I mean? I have to already know how the board is moving for me to move, to stay on top of the game. Because if not, if I sit back and wait and allow myself to really look and see what's going on here, that is my opportunity of where I'm falling, I'm being taken advantage of. You get what I mean? Like that. That's that type of mentality.
That type of
mentality will cause you having procrastination.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that takes a lot of mental energy, Ark. It's a lot of mental energy. You know what I mean? That's a huge mental responsibility, load, effort, like to carry that weight, that responsibility.
Every day. We tell each other, we like, damn, why can't I turn my brain off on what we gotta do, what bill we gotta pay here, what we gotta do this, how this money gonna come in here, what we gotta do to get this money here. Kids need this.
Is there a way where you can take that load and organize it like on a schedule?
Yeah, we have to rearrange our schedules daily. It's on a schedule, Aki. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Aki, what my load is. I'm telling you. That's crazy. So when I do my best. I can't live a full social media life because I have a real life to live outside of social media. So I have to live both lives.
Right. Powerful, man. Powerful. Well, hopefully we can get to a point through faith,
of course,
through discipline, through our community of support.
And the most importantly, through committed. I am committed
through commitment
to continue to have faith in knowing that every day I'm doing something to get to that place of my end result, which is to being at a place where I don't have that much mental load.
Right. And that's where I was going to go with it, where it's like, I want people to understand that this right here, what we're providing to everyone now and afterwards, is for people to understand that we're taking all of this in a way where what can we all do together to be able to get to a point and a level in our lives where we can be relieved of these things that bind us or make us feel confined in a sense, whether it be on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly, yearly, whatever, but come together and be resourceful so that way we can be relieved of this notion of waking up and feeling like the hamster in the wheel. So that way we are no longer the hamster in the wheel. We're outside of the wheel, and it's the Ferris, and we're at the top, and we can see everything in front of us clear as day.
We're no longer the hamsters in the wheel. We're the ones who creating the wheel for the hamsters.
Look at that, Cree.
That's really how it is.
That's just the move I took from JR.
I love that. We're no longer the consumer. We're gonna be the producer. And on that note, team, thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Aki, always a pleasure for your time, your love, your efforts, survival, your time, your love, your efforts. Everybody that tuned in, I hope you guys enjoyed today's segment.
Appreciate all of you all.
Yes, and contentment. We threw up our vision board today. We talked about so many different layers of our personal lives,
these trials and tribulations.
Yes,
what steps, what things, what ways, these trust me, believe. What the ways we give you on this show are there's many more. There's just, these are some of the ways that we found that work for us, or some of the things that we're willing to try to see if it works for us and how we are. Because again, as you guys heard, I have a numerous amount of things on my plate, and I literally have to write certain things down. And that's why I told my wife the other day how we are able to manage certain stuff when it comes down to toiletries, food, and everything. We have whiteboards in each room, bathroom, living room, the hallway, and in the kitchen. And anytime something is missing or something is needed, we write it down on a whiteboard. So when it's time to go out and go get it, we go around looking at all the whiteboard. Okay, boom, take a picture. Boom, 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 boom. Now we in where we at in the stores, and we're able to go get that. That's a way of managing and staying disciplined in what we need to not overspend or stay in the budget.
Love that.
Huh?
You got a Costco out your way?
I literally a block away from me. Honestly, sir. I can walk to it. I can drive to it. I go get gas from it. I save so much money on gas at Costco.
Get on that Costco plug, sir.
I need to talk to sir. Really, honestly speaking, though, about what all Costco can have as a resource, because Costco is very resourceful, is what I'm seeing and noticing.
Oh yeah, if I'm not mistaken, bro, out your way they pay like what, 34 an hour? Yeah, they got a raise over there, but yeah, we're gonna get you hooked up. We're gonna get a Costco card. Yeah, you getting a free one on me.
For sure. Yeah, we're gonna talk after this, kind of. Yeah, we're gonna talk after this, sir.
Appreciate it, man. You guys have a wonderful evening, everybody. Please like, share, repost. Don't forget to subscribe. And like I always say, protect your mind and protect your peace. I'll see you guys next Sunday. Stay blessed, everybody.
Yo, we out.